Hey guys, Gather Magic back again, and this is part 2 of the Splinterlands card market watch for March 29th, 2026. So as you guys can see, I'm using a new site. It's called SPLMarket, so we're going to be covering all the cards on this site for part 2. One of the things that I noticed right away that I like about the site, not only is it kind of your standard marketplace where you can see the price of the card, you can also see on the bottom the edition. This is Alpha. It is a life card. It's a common. And then the thing that I like a lot is the fact that on the front, on the bottom right hand corner, it shows how many cards there are total in circulation. So on the top right, it shows the quantity that's available for sale currently on the marketplace. So for example, the Silver Shield Warrior, it shows that there are 5. And if you hover over the bottom right, it'll show you how many cards there are. And it'll also tell you how many of that card have been burnt. So that's kind of a cool feature. So let's look through Alpha. So these are your Alpha Commons, starting at 23 cents for the Commons. So you can see here, 20 cards in the set, all the way up to $2.99. So next, let's move on to the Alpha Rares. So the rares you can see start at just over $1. So $1.03 is the cheapest card. Currently there are 12 on the market, and there are a total of 8,600 cards in circulation for Peacebringer. So we'll scroll through the 20 cards here. Most expensive card is Medusa at $3.45. There's 6 on the market. Total cards in circulation just under 1,900. Wow, and burn collection power, 37,800. It's amazing that that many of these older cards were burnt. Like Water Elemental, there's 8,350 cards left, but there were 288,950 burn collection power. That is just insane that this many of these older cards have actually been burnt. Okay, next are epics. So starting with Dark Enchantress. So you can see here $3.75 up to $10 for Defender of Truth. And then finally your legendary cards for Alpha. $32.30 for Chromatic Dragon, up to $86,999, so basically $87 for Spirit of the Forest. Spirit of the Forest, there are only 848 cards. Burn collection power, just over 46,500. So that is it for the regular foils. So now let's look at the gold foil commons. There are 20 in the set. So you can see here, there's only 16 of the 20 that are even for sale. Let's take a look at Crustacean King. So there's only one card currently for sale. It is a level 8, and it is by Clove for $90. And then Rexy, there are 4 cards available for sale. The cheapest one here is just under $45. There is one that is cheaper per card, but you're looking at spending $175 for a level 9. So remember, these gold foil commons, they do start at level 4. And then once again, it's nice, you can see in the bottom right hand corner very quickly and easily how many cards there are left of each one. So for most of these, there's only 300 and some cards. You know, this one is almost 800, Haunted Spider over 1,100. But like Flesh Golem, there's only, 260 gold Flesh Golems in existence, and most of them are probably owned by Matt Clark. Okay, that's it for the gold commons. Gold rares, you can see the list has gotten a lot shorter. Now we only have 8 of the 20 cards even for sale. $30 for Earth Elemental, all the way up to $999 for Peacebringer. Your gold epics, there are only 2 for sale. Mischievous Mermaid for $115 and Naga Warrior for $120. Naga Warrior has only 98 cards in circulation. And then finally, your legendary cards. There are only 2 gold alpha legendaries for sale currently on the market. Lord of Darkness for $12.50, and then Spirit of the Forest for $2,995. Okay, now let's look at, if you click on this tab here, you can look at the alpha promo cards. So for regular foil, as we mentioned in part 1, there's only 2 available for sale, the common and the rare. So the common is $325 and the rare is $350. And then for your gold foil versions of these cards, there are 3 available. Common is going for $99.99, the rare for $299, and then the legendary Shin-Lo for $2,500. Okay, that is it for alpha. So now let's look at beta. Let's look at beta, the core set, and the reward cards, just the commons. So now you're looking at just under 4 cents for the cheapest beta commons. Scroll through here to give you guys an idea. Prices of cards. And then once again, how many are in circulation. You can look at the bottom right. Most expensive beta common currently is Crustacean King. $1.11 per card, individual card, or if you go for multiple BCX, it's as cheap as 22 cents. Next is the rares. Rares starting at right around 23 cents for your cheapest beta rare. Currently there's 23, 26, 13, so not a whole lot of these older cards on the market. And your most expensive one, not surprisingly, is Ulrich at $3.50 for an individual card. If you want to look just at the Archons, you can click Archon here. You can see they range from 82 cents to $3.50. And there's only a handful. Look, there's only 5 Zintars even on the market. Okay, epics are next. So now you're looking at 60, 63 cents per card for a beta epic. All the way up to most expensive is Magi of the Forest. Looks like $2.18. And then finally your beta legendary cards. Starting at $5 for the Kraken. 19 on the marketplace. Total looks like 2,570 cards exist of the Kraken. And your most expensive card, not surprisingly, is Voldemort. $37 for an individual card. 9 on the market. Less than 600 total. So there are your legendaries. Okay, let's check out the gold foil versions now. So your gold foil commons, just under $2.50 is your cheapest gold common. Beautiful cards. So obvious that they are gold compared to the newer sets. So your most expensive gold common, looking at $6.49 for the Skeleton Assassin. There's only 3 on the marketplace, only a total of 318 in circulation. So look at this, 318 compared to these that are over 1,000. So you've got a wide variety of how many cards are actually in existence for these. Probably the difference between the core set and the reward cards are probably the ones that are the higher quantities. Like look at Creeping Ooze is 2,300 gold cards. Okay, next are the gold rares. So now you're looking at $8.99 for Boogeyman, and then it jumps up to $9.35 for Silver Shield Assassin. Look at the quantities, guys, in the upper right-hand corner. 1s, 2s, 6, 3. So extremely few cards on the market. Very low liquidity. There's a gold chicken for $14.50. Only 3 on the market. Ulrich, only 2 on the market, $19. Most expensive currently is Gremlin Blaster for $87.12, 5 on the market. It's probably a multiple BCX card. Epics are next. So Manticore, $33 is probably for a combined card. Individual card, you're looking at just under $100. So there are your epics. All the way down to most expensive is Fire Spitter, currently at $107.50. And then finally your gold legendary cards, $250 for Korjak. Most expensive, and I mentioned this in part 1. Look at this, Plato Emberstorm. Only one on the market. They're asking $5,560. There are a total of 42 of these cards out there. And thank goodness none of them have been burnt yet. I cannot see burning a gold legendary from beta. Okay, so that's it for that. Now let's go to promo. So beta promo cards. So this is actually showing, I believe this is showing orb. So these are all the orb cards. Okay, it also is showing the promo card. So I think orb is considered a promo set as well, because I know these are the 3 legendary cards from orb, and there's also Red Dragon, mentioned in part 1, over $95 per card. So next let's look at the gold foils. Your gold foil cards for orb, looks like $274 are the cheapest, up to $11 for your common. Your promo card, Delwyn Dragon Scale, is $3. Your rare, $921, $1163, and $25.90. Dwarven Wizard is the only one of the 2 epics listed for $80. And the only legendary card is Minotaur Warlord for $299. Okay, so that's it for the beta tab. Let's go next to Untamed. So we'll look at Untamed. Let's just look at Untamed Core and Untamed Reward. There's the Dice tab. Okay, starting with the commons. So commons are starting just above a penny. So if you guys are looking for good cards for Cinder, if you can get cards like this at a penny-and-a-half or less, it's probably good to pick those up for Cinder. We do have the new Landcrafted cards that will be coming out in just a couple of days. So most expensive card is Failed Summoner. You can see there's only 12 currently on the market. So these are your common, Untamed, and Reward cards. Next, going to the rares. Now you're getting to 5 cents and above for the rares. Some cheap Archons too for survival. So most expensive rare currently is $1 for Chimera Princess. Let's take a look at the Archons. So your Archons, 10 cents for Mother Kala, all the way up to 21 cents for Drake of Arnak. You have just under 30 cents for Bordas. So if you guys are looking for survival Archons, Untamed is a good place to look for those. Next are the epics. So now your epics are, looks like 22 cents, 37 cents, 21 cents, all the way up to what is the most expensive, Torsian Chief, currently at 73 cents. Once again, look at how few are on the market, just in the 10s and 20s for each of these. And then finally, your legendary cards, starting at $1.75 for Bill of the Radiant. And then some of the key cards in the set, as you guys know. Kitty is at 45, Jotun 35, and Llama 25. But if you're looking for a higher level copy, like you can get, it looks like a Llama is cheap as under $16 per card. Yep, $15.90, and this is for a level 4, so this is for max level, for just under $175. And then the nice thing, so Kitty, there are a total of 1,094 Byzantine Kitty cards in circulation, but only 4 on the marketplace. Under 1,500 Jotuns, under 1,500 Llamas. Okay, next, gold foil. So your gold foil commons, starting at right around 50 cents for the cheapest ones. All the way down to the most expensive card. No surprise, Failed Summoner, usually one of the key commons in the set. $2.31, only 5 on the market. Total of 1,829 cards available in circulation. Okay, moving to the rares. Now we're looking at about $2.30, Child of the Forest. Up to $48 for the Tower Griffin. Let's look at the Archons too. So Archon prices, yeah, under $250 for a gold summoner Archon is not bad. Most expensive is still, what, $980 for Wizard of Eastwood. Let's see how many are on the market and what prices are going for. So there's only 4 on the market. Looks like $5.60 a card for these. These are level 3. There's a level 2 for $9.80. So not very many of these on the marketplace. Okay, next are your epics. So now you're looking over $11 for your cheapest beta gold epic. All the way to Soulstorm for $70. Only 3 on the market. So there's just a handful of any of these on the market. Less than 10 of any of these cards. And then finally your gold legendaries. Vigilator, 127, all the way up to Jotun. There's 1 on the market for $8.99. Grog for $4.32. Kitty $4.25. Llama for $200. Lear Deep Swimmer for $200. $1.99 for Kron. So you can see very pricey cards. And look, individual cards are just 2 of these on the market. Okay, and then your promo cards. Looks like Chain Golem, $6.67. And then a gold foil for $1.45. Here's a tab for dice. So your dice commons, 1 to 24 cents. Your rares, which are your archons, 10 cents for Vera, all the way up to, looks like 79 cents for Mylor. Your epics, 21 to 28 cents there. And then finally your legendary cards start at just over $2 for Lensmaster, up to Epona at $7.70. And I'm sure there's probably not that many gold foil legendaries. So let's look at gold. Whoops, let's look at just the gold foil. So 52 cents to 97 cents. Your rares, once again, right above $250 is your cheapest gold Archon, all the way up to Mylor for 20 bucks. You can get a Lorna Shine, look at that, for under $9 for a gold Archon. Epics, basically $15 to $19 for the epics. And then finally your gold legendaries. Look at this, guys. There's only 3 available on the marketplace. $80 up to $850 for Poseidon. And there's only 1 of each of these on the market. So this is $425 price per card, $850. Okay, after Untamed, let's move on to Chaos Legion. Let's do core, and let's do regular foil commons. Let's look at the first set of reward cards too. So of course you guys know Chaos Legion cards can be under a penny for leveled up copies. So no surprise with Chaos Legion, you know, most all the cards are still a penny for the commons. Currently the only one above a penny is Scavel Hireling at 2.3 cents. And how many are in circulation? Look at that, 253,000 cards are out there. Yep, we've got a lot of Chaos Legion. And then next, the rares start at right around 2 cents. All the way to, once again, Kelia, the most expensive rare. But look at that, under 9 cents for a Kelia. And there are just under 55,000 cards out there. Okay, Epics next. So now Epics are looking at just under 10 cents a card for Epics. Most expensive Epic currently is Narissa at 11.7. And then finally, your legendary cards start right around 50 cents a card for Ifrit Rising Jinbilka. And your most expensive legendary cards currently, really not a surprise, Lily, Possibilis, and Immortalis. But still, look at the prices. You can get them for under $3 a card for any of these legendary Archons. Okay, now let's look at the gold foils. So gold foil commons are starting at actually under 16 cents, so 15.4 cents for the Morphoid. Most expensive currently, can you believe it? It's actually Venari Heatsmith. It's not the Scavo Hireling. Venari Heatsmith, 50 cents. Why are you 50 cents? Did somebody buy these out? Yep, they're 50 cents and above. Because normally I would say this would be a 16, 17 cent card. But yep, there was a buyout and now they're being relisted at a much higher price. Okay, let's also look. Oh, right here, if you want to search by level of the card, you can search right here by max level. So let's see how many max level cards are out there. So max level, you're looking at just under $6, right at $6 for Gargoyle Lion, $6.42 for the Mercenary. But very few of these are on the marketplace at max level. You know, as much Chaos Legion that is out there, there's not very many. This is the most I've seen right now, 13 of the Pellicord Deceiver. So there's players like me that are actively out there still scooping up gold commons for land. Still got a long way to go to get my plots maxed out. So we'll see how long these prices last. I'm really surprised they've lasted this long, to be honest. Okay, now let's look at gold rares. So your gold rares are starting right around 70 cents. Most expensive is not Kelia, surprisingly, Venari Seedsmith. Only 7 of these, and you're looking at what, $3.68 a card. Kelia, you're looking at $1.18 for a gold Archon. 13 available. Now let's see how many max level copies there are of these things. Look at 1, 1, 2, 4. Yep, very, very few rares. I think 4 is the highest I've seen for quantity available on the marketplace. So if you're looking for rares for land, and remember, rare gold cards have twice the production of commons. So you're looking at 13, 15. Actually, that's a very good price, $13. That is a very good price for a rare. I think usually when I see gold rares max, they're like 17, 18 or higher. So I would say this is a very good pickup. Yeah, under 60 cents a card. Okay, guys, this is definitely, if you're into land, you know that this is a very good price. I expect this to be gone very shortly. And it's a neutral card, which, yeah, let's just say if this card's not gone very soon, it will be gone one way or another. Okay. Now, let's go for epics. So epics starting at 325 on up. all the way up to under $4. So very close range, $3.25 to $4 for gold epics from Chaos Legion. And then max copies. You're looking at just over $34 to $146.43. That's the I don't want to sell it price. So basically 40. So 35 to 40 bucks for a max gold epic. But 1, 4, 1, 3, yeah, very, very few cards available for gold epics. I did pick up a gold epic for my $10 account for land. Actually, I don't see him on the max list, so he doesn't even have a max copy. Let's see if I can find it. Let's let it reset. There he is, Tidebiter. I picked up a Tidebiter, I think for $3.35 earlier in the week, so I do have a gold epic on my $10 account. Okay, and then finally for legendary, well, it looks like that one that was listed earlier for $19 is gone. Now it looks like about $23 is your cheapest gold legendary card from Chaos Legion. All the way up to most expensive. Look at this Grum, 400 bucks. $491 for a Grum, or $123 per card. He's the only one on the market, and he is max level. Let's see what other max level cards there are out there. Not many. I'm surprised there's 6 max Queen Mycelias for $99. Yep, a lot of these just individual copies. So yep, tons of Chaos Legion out there, but not a lot of golds. Alright, so that's the reward. That's the core set. Let's look at the second set of reward cards. It's your commons. You can see here 3 to 14 cents. You can see not very many of these cards in circulation. These were not, well, sorry, that's max level. So 3 cents to about 14 cents. Then your rares, you're looking at 30 to 74 cents for the rares. Your epics, look how few epics there are. I don't see the fire one. Is there 2 of them missing? Fire is gone. Oh, fire and death I do not see even listed. And then legendary, got 11 of the 12 listed. And then for your gold foil, commons you're looking at $1 to $2.10. For your rares, $3.70. This one's probably a max level for $73. No, it's a level 2. Are you kidding me? This is an individual gold card for $73. I thought at that price it was going to be a max level one. Nope. Definitely avoid that card. It has way too overpriced. Gold epics, 17 to just under 37. And then your legendaries. There's only 4 gold legendaries for the reward cards from Chaos Legion. 69 to 129. Okay, let's look at the promo cards. Mentioned these in part 1, so I won't go through all the prices again, but you can just see how few of these are on the market, especially like a Lux Vega. But Lux Vega is back up to 160, where over the last month or so it's been right around $100, so this one has really rebounded in price. And then for the gold foil, this one I think is an absolute steal. $388. $400 for a gold Lux Vega. I mean, I've seen that card as high as $2,000. Even 1,000, you know, and you're looking at 400. And how many are in circulation? There are only, what does that say, 63 of these gold Lux Vegas. The only neutral Archon in the game so far. Okay, let's go to Rift Watchers. So Rift Watcher prices I saw came down for most all of the regular foil cards. So the commons, there were usually some commons that were like 4 to 6 cents. Now they're all down to 1 to 2 cents. And then even the rares, sometimes you get a 20-25 cent rare, maybe even as high as 30 cents. Highest Queen of Crows is only 12 cents now for the rare. Your epics, which are your archons, kind of back in line to where they were in the past as far as Dallin and Aquatis being the cheapest two. Fernheart is $1, so it is the most expensive. But for Legendary, the one that really stuck out to me was Inevitable. You know, this has been a $10, $15 card, which is where it's at right now, but the only ones available for sale are max level. If you're looking at $140 to $156 for a max Inevitable, there are no individual cards on the market. Okay, gold foil commons, you're looking at 20 cents to 55 cents. For your rares, about 80 cents to $2. There we go. For your epics, for golds, about $3.50 to $10. And then finally your gold legendaries. So you've got only 9 of the 12 cards listed. So 3 of the legendary cards aren't even available for sale from Rift Watchers. And most expensive one, look at this, Runemancer Kai for almost $500. And this is for a max copy. Only one on the market. Okay, what do we have next? So we went through everything for Chaos Legion. So next let's go to Rebellion. So let's look at just regular Rebellion. So cards starting at just over a penny for the commons. Most expensive cards right now for the commons, of course, are the dual archons. Up to, it looks like 31, 35 cents a piece. For your rares, rares starting at about 3.5 cents a piece. Up to, let's see what some of these archons are going for. So I got Fabino at about 50 cents, Avina the Wolf for about 74, and then some of the other key cards, Moxian Rebel for 46. Soothsayer is $1.17, but as cheap as 45 cents a copy. And then your epics, starting about 18 cents for the Karst Harpy, all the way up to Captain Fellblade at $1.19. And then finally your legendaries from Rebellion. We went through the key cards in part 1, but just kind of take a look to see how many are in circulation. Like I said, I was surprised to see Venka at under $9. There's 17 on the market. 1,010 total Venka cards in existence. And Tofu is under $36. So Tofu currently is at $26. There are only 899 cards out there, though, so there's not a whole lot of Tofus. 10 listed on the market. Lorcas is under 23, 12 on the market. Only 922 cards. Now looking at the gold foils. So gold foil commons, you're looking at about 25 cents for the commons and up. Up to $3.50 for Prunda. Next are the rares. Starting at right around $1 for your cheapest gold rare from Rebellion. So it looks like these are pretty much in the 400s to 500s for a print run as of now. Yep, 400s. And your epics, now you're getting down in the mid 200s, low 200s for gold epics. And then finally your legendary cards, starting at $22.40 But look at the lower right hand corner. This is how many are in circulation. Just over 100 of these gold legendaries. And then if you look at tofu, there's only 91 gold tofu cards in existence. Venka the Vile, there's only 90. So that's why they're asking, over $600 for some of these cards. There's just not that many. Even Nidhogger, there's only 101 gold Nidhoggers out there. So I think some of these cards are very, very underpriced. When you start getting, I think, under $50 for some of these cards, and there's just barely over 100 of them, that might be a good pickup. Okay, so that's it for Rebellion. Let's go to the rewards next. So let's look at regular foil, commons. Of course, most of these are probably still going to be very cheap. 4 to 12 cents for the commons. There's still hundreds of these available for sale. Your rares, you're looking at 14 cents up to 35 cents for Commander Slade. The epics, which are probably the best epics we've ever had in any reward set, from $1.19 up to $2.05 for Halfling Refugee. So print runs for these, looks like you're around 20,000. But the thing is, out of the 20,000, how many are actually unbound? Don't know if it shows that on the site, if it shows unbound amounts. It does show cards in total and how many were burnt, but I don't think it shows how many were unbound. And then finally your legendary cards, $5.35 to just under $10. So you're looking at, it looks like 6,000-ish, just under 6,000 for a lot of these cards, mid 5,500 for the legendary cards. Okay, and then for your gold cards, commons, 85 cents to just under $1.90. Your rares, now you're looking at $3.80 is the cheapest, up to $7.50. Your epics, look at this, under $17 for gold Olivia the Brook, all the way up to $39 for Thandalorian Blade. How many gold weavers are there? 2,300. What? 932 burnt? What's wrong with people? What is wrong with people? And then no gold legendaries. Okay, so that is it for that. Promos. Oh yeah, we went through all the promo cards in part 1, so I don't want to make this video too long. I'll just kind of scroll through the screen slowly. The main thing I want you guys to look at is how many there are for quantity available on the market. And then if you can see this number in the lower right hand corner, this will definitely, show you how many cards there are in circulation. So this site is fantastic if you guys miss, like I do, the way Splinterlands used to have it, where right on the top of the card in the middle, it would tell you like how many of each card were in existence. So he does it here. And I also like the fact that it shows you how many of this card have been burnt. So if you're curious of how many of these cards have actually been burnt, this is definitely a great source to check out. I'm still getting used to the sorting a little bit, but so far I like it. So these are all your regular foils. And then these are your gold foils. So once again, it has the price in the upper left, quantity for sale in the market in the upper right, and then circulating supply in the lower right. Like Eleanor, there's only 32 gold Eleanors. Where's Rick Launeman? Oh, it's not going to show him. So if I looked at a regular foil, Rick Launeman, because I know there's not many of him out there. Is there a way to see gold foil? So I think gold foil, if there's none for sale, of course it won't list any, but is there a way to see how many cards are in existence? Yep, so there's no listings for this card. And of course it's not in any of the other versions. Yeah, because I know that's one card. There was somebody that was looking for this card a couple months ago. It was a gold Rick Launeman, and I've just never seen it up for sale. So just curious how many cards there are. Probably less than 50. Okay, so that's it for the promo. So we went through the Rebellion tab. Let's go through Conclave Arcana next. Let's look at Conclave. So now we're looking at, 1.5 cents for Conclave Arcana. For the commons, up to 5 cents. For your rares, 5 cents and up. So for the rares, it looks like you're roughly around 4,000 of each rare. So that means 4,000 of each of the Archons. And finally, they're all under $1. Has this ever happened where we finally got all the rare Archons under $1? Then Epics, again, 17, 18 cents. Up to 40 cents for Blazebeard. And then Legendaries, just under $2 for the cheapest Legendary. Up to $12.82 or $12.62 for Captain Frankie. How many Captain Frankies are out there? 1,048. Hand V, 1,001. Okay, next, gold foil commons. So now you're looking at 20, 21 cents and up. Next are the gold rares. So it looks like these are in the 500 range for gold rares for print runs currently. So it looks like 80 cents or so. And then the gold Archons. So there's not very many of these out there, guys, for the gold Archons. Looks like 400-ish across the board. Next are the gold epics. So now you're looking at about 330 and up. Print runs in the mid 400s, low 400s. Up to Lucky Long Shot at $5.30. And then finally your gold legendaries at $26, $24, $20. So $20-ish up to the most expensive $139 for a gold hand V. There's 2 on the market. I think there was one earlier for $149.99, so someone else must have listed one recently for that $139. Okay, so now the different foil versions. So your gold arcanes, commons, you're looking at 18 bucks up to 40 or 50 for Ashen Cindergrim. Those are your commons. Your rares, now you're looking at $45 up to 200. Your epics, there's just 3 of them. These are all individual ones. Oh, there's 2 Ferris Brewers for sale. And then finally your gold arcane legendaries. There are 4, including a Han V for $700. Okay, next are the black foil. You got your black foil commons at $37.50 up to $220 for Buttercup Mauler. And your rares start at $115 for the Shield Maiden, up to $500 for Kalia Silverleaf. Your epics, there's only 3, $200 to $450. And then finally your legendary cards, there are 3, including, look at that, Captain Frankie, $1,900. And then let's see, Black Arcane, this is the entire list I mentioned in part 1. You've got 2 commons and you've got 1 rare. These are the only Black Arcanes on the marketplace for Conclave Arcana. Okay, let's look next at the reward cards. So these are the current reward cards. Of course, you guys know these are very cheap. Commons, 1 or 2 cents. Now your rares, you're looking at 6 to 7 cents, up to 17. Epics, a little more pricey, 40 cents and up to Rylofen, currently just under $1 at 98 cents. And then your legendary cards start at 221 up to 458. And it looks like there's about 1,400 of each of the legendary cards. Okay, so now go through the different foil variations. You've got Oceanus Unmade under 18 cents up to Coral Forged at 32. Your rares 60 cents to $2. Your epics $1.84 to $15.50. And then your gold legendaries $18 to just under 46. Okay, gold arcanes. You can see the commons here, 18 to 46. Just a handful of these. The rares, $20 to $67. Epics, there's only one, Salt Wraith Pirate for $69. But there are 4 gold arcane legendary cards from 99 to 155. That seems very low for a legendary gold arcane. Because these are what, numbered to 5, I believe? I think they're numbered to 5. Okay, so now for the black foil cards. Commons 19 to 40. Your rares 35 to 500. Your epics 90 to 200. And your legendaries 299 to 499. Next are the black arcanes. See very few of these on the market, even 34 to 100 for the commons, 99 to about 275 for the rares. No epics, 1 legendary, the one of one. Yep, there can only be one, and there it is. All right, so we're almost there, guys. Let's see, what is next? So we've got extra cards. So these are the extra regular foil cards. So these are the jackpot cards that you can get out of the chests. The luckiest long shot for not winning in Modern for the raffle, and then the Arena Fanatic for watching the streams. Went through these prices in part 1. These are the regular foil cards. These are the golds that are available. Gold arcanes, there's actually 2. Black foil, there's just the Rune Keeper. And then black arcane, Busy Beaver, and Hrolfka. And then what is this? Escalation. So Escalation commons, 2 cents, looks like up to 10 cents for Doomshield Warden. Rares, 3 cents to 12 cents for Cobalt of Burden. Epics, 36 cents up to $1.60. And your legendaries, $1.85 all the way up to $5. And then different foil versions. Your gold foils, you're looking at 33 cents to $1.10 for a common. Or I should say $1.39 for a common. Your rares, $1.10 to $1.82. Your epics, $8.25 to $19.85. And then your gold legendaries, you're looking at $48 to just under $100. Okay, so now for the gold arcane commons, 21 to 100. Your rares, looking at 50 to 400. 175 to 220 for the epics. And then legendaries, 265 to 450. Okay, black foils are next. Black foil commons, 64 to 159. Black foil rares, 189 to 350. Epics, there's only 2 of them. And then legendaries, $8.99 to $1,500. And then finally, I don't think there'll probably be a whole lot of arcanes, but we'll see. Decent amount of arcane commons, 95 to 199. Rares, 250 to 500. Epics, 1,500. And no arcane legendary cards. Alright, what is left? Foundation. Yeah, Foundation I don't think we really need to go through. There's just not a lot of value in the card, so we're just going to go to the extras. So the common card is 10 cents, the rare is about 38, the white chickadee is just under $1, and Eris is at 7.70. The gold foil version, $1.90 for the common, $7.49 for the rare, $10.80 for the epic, and $99 for the legendary. Gold Arcane, there is a common for $29.99 and a rare for $60. Black foil, the rare is $110, and look at that, $258 for the legendary, and there's no Black Arcane. Alright, and finally, Eternal. This should be the land cards, I would think. Yep, Eternal land cards. So these are the only regular foil land cards. There's no legendary. So $2.55 for the common, $12.94 for the rare, and $25.22 for the epic. The gold foil versions, $26.50 for the common, $60 for the rare, and just under $150 for the Toiling Ox, the epic. And I don't believe there are any of the other versions up for sale. The people that have been lucky enough to get those are hanging on to them. Okay, guys, I think that is it. I think that is it for the Market Watch Part 2 for March 29th, 2026. So yeah, definitely check out SPLMarket. I'm fairly new to the site and just learning to use it. I do like it. Like I said, I really like having the numbers on the bottom just to be able to tell how many cards are not only in circulation on the market, but just in circulation in general. And it's a nice feature too that they added how many cards have been burnt, just to kind of idea of that. Also have the SPS price, DEC price, Hive price up here. You do get cash back on purchases, so definitely check out the site. If you have any questions, you can head on over to Discord and contact Altrix. He is the owner creator of SPLtrader and SPLMarket, so definitely check him out if you have any questions. So until next time, stay the course, keep on checking the market, and have fun. Take care.